Hello, and welcome to today's Coach on a Couch. Today's was really easy, to the point that it is not even 9 a.m. and I am already recording this. I had a phenomenal, inspiring conversation with Rebecca and Mark today on the Saturday morning stream. Always worth getting up early for me. And after Rebecca stepped out for breakfast, Mark and I had a deep dive conversation around the implications of AI. And I don't want to talk about AI. There's too many people talking about AI. You need an AI to distill the conversations about AI to where we can keep up with it. Whatever, those exist already too. But the conversation that we had that I really valued was the implications on agility of AI. So yesterday I shared that I'd been doing an AI deep dive and played with Air GPT and all these fun things in the interest of figuring out how to make it relevant for me and learning the landscape better to be a more effective guide for my clients and mentees. And we got into the implication on practices today. And what drove it was my goal list from yesterday, which was, one, be up to date on personal professional productivity tools using AI. Two, understand AI in the corporate space for the creators of AI-enabled products. What does that do in the organization? With the more personal goal then being three, understand the implications on agility of the personal productivity and the nature of corporate production, all ultimately leading to four, which is probably going to show up here more than anywhere else, which is what are the implications to Agile coaches of all of that in the context of AI on how you work, how you coach, how you support your clients. And as I started really digging into the thought model behind it, I came up with a picture because I have a habit of doing that. And what I realized is that we need to pay attention to what changes and what doesn't. And we also need our buttons to work. And what that means to me as I look at this, and this is my simplified diagram of how strategy emerges and flows. You have a big purpose, you have a set of values, and the context around your company is changing. That informs your strategy. Your strategy goes into some sort of value delivery flow, and your customer is happy. And that value delivery flow is inspired by the principles of agility and lean and the set of things that we have discovered work better in the world. Now, all of the practices we do, Scrum Safe, story pointing, team design, daily stand-ups, whatever practice you want to pick, all live inside that value delivery flow. They're not specifically principles in and of themselves, although they implement principles and make them real. And they're not part of your strategy. Agile is a tool to help you achieve your strategy. It isn't its own goal and purpose. And the big realization I had is we need to be prepared to reimagine every practice inside that box. We might see some evolution of the principles. We will definitely see a shift in strategies because of the change in context. But as coaches and people working around Agile, we need to be prepared to let every single practice that we have come to cherish potentially disappear. At the same time, we balance that tension with we must not throw everything away because we assume it's not relevant. We're going to have to do some deep inspection here. And nothing that we inspect can be allowed to be sacred in the sense we can't change it. We don't want to create Agile monuments. They're pretty, but they're in the way. So we need to look at the strategies that are in play in the companies, especially the AI-enabled strategies where personal productivity has shifted the dynamics dramatically, and the principles, and look at the individual practices we use at every step of the value delivery flow. I did that yesterday for my content creation flow. Later today, I have a choice of playing between Eric voice avatars and looking through my flow in detail and figuring out where I'm going to get productivity improvements and acceleration. The application of this to the real world and to the implications on, say, Scrum, Kanban, everything else, Kanban's probably best suited to be ready for this, to be honest, because it's already completely evolutionary. But all that said, it's time to reimagine. And we need to look at this. Like many of us, I think, have thrown away tasking, and especially putting hours-based estimates on tasks years ago. But now even the notion of it becomes even more absurd, because tasks that used to take hours to be measured in hours are going to be measured in iterations of AI generation, not iterations of Scrum. But like, I think I could probably figure this out going back and forth with an AI 3 times, or I'm going to probably have to evolve this and go back and forth a few dozen times. Like, that's a different conversation than this is going to take an hour or two. It's a different skill set. It's a different way of looking at the world. And I pick on story points because they're just around tasking and story points and things like that, because they're well-known examples that we still love to talk about a lot. But it's going to apply to how we think about objectives, how we think about experimentation, how we write our features, how we design our teams, what the nature of dependencies look like. Everything in the practice library is going to have to be up for consideration and evaluation. And some of them will shift. Some of them will dramatically change. The catchphrase on this one that came to mind, and I think it's relevant, is purpose and principles endure, practices expire. And are we ready for our favorite practices to expire? And are we ready to coach beyond those practices? I hope you have fun thinking about this. I would love to hear if anybody has perspectives, because this is an active area of thought and evolution. Have a delightful day.